So for the past 5 years, I've been trying to take my marketing agency past $20,000 a month. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on courses in order to get there. I've paid money to gurus that I look up to on YouTube. I've spent money on info products, coaches, consultants, and I've been unsuccessful up until now. In this video, I'm going to explain the new business model that I've been leveraging to get to $30,000 a month and why I'm on track to hit $100,000 a month plus in my agency. So over the last few years, what I've realized is that most marketing companies have learned from the same people. They've paid money for the same info product. They've learned from the same coach or the same consultant, and they're trying to deliver exactly the same offer or the same service in order to grow their business. And so what has happened is that this has made the marketing agency industry extremely saturated. Businesses and other industries are getting sick of marketing agencies pitching them with the same offer. If I open my Facebook right now, I reckon I'm going to have at least 5 or 6 pitches from different people with exactly the same offer. What if I could offer you a way to generate an extra 10 to 20 new qualified sales appointments every single week? Would that be of interest? I'm going to send you a new video on Loom that's going to explain how we do that. I literally get 5 or 6 of them every single week. And so does every other business out there and every other decision maker. This is why your social media marketing agency does not work. This is why it doesn't scale, because you've been sold a dream that is oversaturated. I didn't realize this up until about a year ago. That's when I paid $15,000 to learn how to turn my marketing agency into a growth agency or to become a growth partner. Now, if you're not familiar with this concept, it's basically a marketing agency where you build out the client acquisition infrastructure for your client. Now, this might sound amazing, but unfortunately, it just doesn't work for those bigger companies that are already making a lot of money. If you're trying to target a company that's earning $2 to $5 million or more per year, like a proper company, they're not going to be looking for a marketing agency for some 20-year-old guy to come in and build out their client acquisition infrastructure with all their cold emailing and appointment setting and all that crap, because they've already got an in-house team. Equally, if you're a social media marketing agency and you're trying to sell ads, most of these businesses don't want to do that because they'd rather have that talent in-house. I've learned this just from building my own company. I would much rather hire someone in my company, give them a full-time salary and train them on how to send cold emails. And if I don't know how to do it, I'll pay a consultant to come in and train them. And it's as simple as that. This is why your social media marketing company isn't working. This is why being a growth partner doesn't necessarily translate into scaling your business. And it's why I've come up with a completely new business model that no one else is doing that has allowed me to scale to $30,000 a month. So before I tell you about that, let me explain some of the problems around having a social media marketing agency. The first one is client retention. I learned a long time ago that I'm only going to have a client working with me for 3 to 6 months before they decide to take all of that knowledge in-house or to hire someone in-house that can do the same amount of workload for them. That's when I discovered the growth partner model, where you build out all their client acquisition infrastructure. But I quickly realized there's a flaw in doing that as well, because you're only able to really offer that service to certain types of businesses. If you go on LinkedIn, you're going to be able to network with people in real businesses earning millions of dollars a year, where there's multiple decision makers who can pay you thousands of dollars for your service. And let me tell you, it's not going to be a growth partner offer, and it's not going to be running their Facebook ads. Yes, a lot of people have had success doing this, including myself, but you're not going to be able to retain those clients. And when you are pitching exactly the same offer and delivering the same service to these clients as everyone else, then you can't expect to grow your business past $20,000 or $30,000 a month. But with this new business model, I've realized that you can, because not everyone is doing it, and it's a service that almost every business needs, that most businesses are not going to be able to create a team for in-house to deliver. And that's why this business model is so good. So after building my marketing agency for the past few years, in fact, I built 2. The first one was a Facebook ads agency. The second one was a growth partner agency. I realized that there's something missing here. There's another piece to the puzzle that I didn't quite figure out up until about a year ago. And that is that most businesses, in order to get the best results for appointment setting, for cold email, for their brand, especially these bigger businesses that are earning $5 million, $10 million, $100 million a year, the one thing they need, and the one thing that they're going to need forever, is content. Because most of these companies already have their lead generation infrastructure in place. Most of these companies already have their sales infrastructure in place. Most of these companies may also even be creating content. But the main thing that they're not doing is creating consistent video content. And you and I both know that video content is where the money is at. That's why you're on YouTube. That's why you're watching people on YouTube. When you create advertisements, you know clicking on a video advertisement works better. You've seen these YouTube stars. You know, like these 19-year-olds that just create YouTube videos all day long. They build a massive audience and then they're driving Lamborghinis. The reason why is because video content is king. But the problem that I experienced when I had my marketing agency was that these decision makers, these people in these large multi-million-dollar companies, they didn't want to make video content. They didn't want to set up a camera and speak on camera. They didn't have the time for it, and some of them just didn't want to do it because they didn't feel like they were good on camera. Even me creating this video today and creating all of my YouTube videos, it takes time for me to script the video, it takes time for me to set up. I've got to worry about the background, what I'm wearing, and of course I've got to make sure everything that I say has structure to keep everyone engaged on the video. All of these things are so difficult to control. And so that's when I discovered that you could actually create video content without your client having to be on camera or even show their face. So a few years ago, I stumbled upon a way to make money online. This new method was called YouTube automation, and a few years ago, not that many people were actually doing it. I tried it myself, I figured out how to create the production line to create the content, and I failed miserably. Looking back now, there's a whole bunch of reasons why I failed, but that doesn't mean that the business model is bad. It just means that I didn't do the correct things in the correct sequence. But that's not what this video is about. This is about the fact that I realized that this business model or this money-making method was not being applied to other businesses. Nobody was doing it, and I couldn't understand why. Because every business needs video content, most decision makers don't want to be on camera, most businesses, especially the large ones, don't have a face to the brand, and so faceless automation or YouTube automation seemed like one of the best things possible to offer these businesses. But as an entrepreneur, I didn't know until I actually tried. So I created a new offer around this service and sent it out to my warm email list of about 1,000 decision makers. And within a couple of days, I had already sold 3 new clients on this new offer. Some of them were prepared to spend $7,000 a month on content creation. That's how lucrative this business model is. Now you might be thinking this is just a normal content creation agency, and in some respects you might be right, but you need to consider that now that we have AI, this model can be lucrative because you can clone your clients' voices and you can actually put your client on camera without them having to be on camera, if that kind of makes sense. They literally don't have to set up a camera, they don't have to talk. In fact, none of the content creation needs to happen by them. It can happen by you and your team. And that's literally what I've been doing at my agency to scale it to $30,000 a month with just a small amount of clients. But of course, with my knowledge of creating advertisements and operating as a growth partner for a few months and trying that model out, what I've done is combined everything together. So not only are we creating content consistently, but there's other parts of the service that we can upsell our clients on. Whether it's client acquisition, whether it's VSLs, whether it's advertisements, whether it's more content. There's a pathway for my agency to grow now with this business model. And it's a business model that's going to attract small companies as well as big ones, whether they have one decision maker or many. It doesn't matter. Every single one of these companies needs content, and all of these decision makers know that video content is king. Even if these decision makers decide to work with my agency and they actually want to be on camera, we can scale that content creation. It doesn't matter whether they're on camera or not. The point is, all the appointment setting, all the cold emails, all the ads are going to work far better when that company has consistent content being pushed out to their social media profiles every single day so that they can build an audience and retarget them over time. It's a win-win situation. I like to call this the video flywheel because it's a circular motion. The more content, the more customers. It's as simple as that. There's no risk for the client. There's no risk for you. Everybody wins. Now you're probably wondering by now, what exactly can you do to deliver this service? How can you create a business around this offer? And I'm going to disappoint you because I don't want to reveal that in this video. Because if I do that, every other marketing company will copy this method. Every other marketer will try and build a business around this offer. And it's taken me a long time to figure this out for myself. And I certainly don't want everyone else pitching the same offer to the same type of clients I'm going after, at least not yet. But if you're interested in learning how to do this for yourself, maybe you want to offer this in your own marketing agency, or you want to create a new business around this offer, then reach out to me on social media and I might be able to provide you with some help. But for now, I'm going to try and keep everything nice and secret so that I can take my business to where it needs to go and I can document my journey for you guys so that you can see that this actually is a profitable business model that almost every marketing agency should latch onto at some point in the future. So hopefully this has added some value to your life. If it has, give this video a like. Please subscribe to me for more content like this. It helps me with the algorithm. It helps me get this video out to more people just like you who need help. And of course, I'll see you in the next one.